people on developing confidence, improving their conversation skills, and changing their lifestyle. Really excited about today's question and answer session. I want it to be as interactive as possible. The purpose of me being here right now is to help you grow in confidence and to find the motivation to transform your lifestyle so that you're no longer just getting by, miserable, coping in life, but instead you're thriving. So I've had a nice day today. I did my morning exercise, which always sets me up fantastically well for the day, puts me in a good mood. And because I've been keeping up the exercise for a long time now, I've built momentum with it. And as I've got fitter and healthier, I've been getting more confident on a personal level. So I did my morning workout, 5K run, and some strength training. And then I got myself in the right focus place to help out one of my long-term clients. Really, really, really lovely guy who has mild autism and ADHD, and I've been working with him and getting him to build confidence and change his lifestyle. One change that I've managed to inspire him to make, which is amazing, he now spends 1 hour every single day doing cardio, and it's bike riding. So he's got into it, and every single day he spends a full hour exercising, and he's visibly more confident. And I'm getting him to keep on tweaking and improving his routine further. So I'm now getting him to really address his diet, not take shortcuts. It's crazy that the answer to most of our problems in life is right under our noses. It's always something that you've heard of already. It's not some clever, advanced spiritual law. It's go for a run, eat healthy, push your comfort zone, go to socials, take on your fears, choose to be more open and more honest with people. It's always simple things. But the catch is that simple doesn't mean easy. Simple just means it's intellectually simple. Doesn't mean it's easy to actually execute. It's simple to run. We all know how to run. But to get yourself up early enough in the morning to go for a run before work, regardless of the weather, and to be able to overcome that inner resistance, the excuses, I'm not in the mood, it's raining outside, it looks miserable out there, I'd much rather have a lion. To win that battle of you versus yourself, that's the real challenge. It's not about what you know, it's about what you're actually doing. And if somebody puts the honest hard work in and they have a disciplined routine and they keep it up for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they're going to get life-changing results. But it's actually committing to something for long enough to see those results. So while I'm waiting for people to join the live stream, I can talk generally. So the guy that I was coaching today, his main challenge is frustration with family members. So certain family members he gets on with really well, and others he finds toxic. And when it comes to managing your relationships with people, I think it's really important to have people in the right doses. Most people are fine in the right doses, but you don't want to get overdosed with people that are toxic, draining, negative, complain all the time, nitpick, criticize, people that make you feel tired and exhausted. Because the basis of true confidence is being yourself. And this means that you have to open up. You have to be vulnerable to become confident. And if you're around people that make you want to close up and detach yourself and isolate yourself, that's going to make you less confident. To contradict myself, it depends where you are at your stage of personal development and your journey. You also want to have resilience against people that are critical and are difficult to be around. So you want to be as open as you can be with people, but also not naive, not enabling, not letting people walk all over you, take advantage. And this is true for all people, even me as a coach. So one thing that I had to learn is that 80% of my clients are really, really punctual and that they're great to be around. And that makes my job a lot easier. But 1 in 5 people, they like to reschedule sessions a lot, not as responsive over the messaging. And I had to change the way that I interact with clients. So I used to be too lenient with clients. I wasn't hard enough on clients when it comes to the clients that were pushing it. So then I started to improve my boundaries with my clients. And if people book a block of 6 sessions, I allow a maximum of 2 reschedules for those 6 sessions. And if a client is 20 minutes late, I don't mind, it's 20 minutes. But if they're 30, 40 minutes late, I'm still going to finish the session at the time that we agreed. So they just lose session time. So I've had to become tougher with certain clients myself. So we all have to constantly work on our boundaries with people, especially if you fall on the more agreeable people pleaser side of the spectrum. If that's your background and default, you have to work hard to get your boundaries right, to keep yourself in a good place, protect your energy. And this is super important because, firstly, your mental health is important. And also, you want to be in a good place so you've got more to give to people that you actually care about. An analogy that one of my clients taught me. So imagine that you're on a plane and the plane's going down and the oxygen masks, they drop down. You have to put your oxygen mask on first before helping someone else put theirs on. So you have to look after yourself in order to be able to look after other people. So it's actually selfish to put yourself last because it means you've got less to give. I'm not saying to be narcissistic and put yourself over other people at all costs. But I am saying that you have to have boundaries with people because, firstly, your mental health is important. Secondly, it means you're going to have more to give to others. Another little mindset and reframe that helps people with boundaries is that people that actually care about you, people that love you, they want to see you happy. It would make them miserable to see you sad and depressed. So you have a duty to them to look after yourself. And that's actually the same mindset that I use. So I have to look after my own mental health to set an example to my clients. On a little side, if you want to know a little trick, a secret to create a goal and find infinite motivation, motivation that lasts long enough to actually achieve that goal, you have to make the motivation and the reason why you're going for that goal bigger than your own ego. And a great reason is to set an example for others. That's an amazing reason because that's bigger than your own ego. What that means is your own fears and insecurities and excuses, they can't talk you out of it. Because it's that battle of you versus yourself, you versus your own inner resistance that you have to repeatedly win. And when you've got a purpose that's bigger than your ego, i.e., to inspire and help out other people, that extra motivation pushes you through the times where you might otherwise feel like you want to quit. Because it's just too important and it means too much to you for you to quit. An example which comes to mind, a bit of a random example, around about 8-9 months ago, I was chilling out, day off from work, and I was sat in a Weatherspoons having a coffee. And I picked up the Weatherspoons News magazine, the book. I had a little flick through, and there was an article about a bartender, a barmaid, and basically she tried to quit alcohol on several occasions and failed, and then finally had a successful attempt where she'd managed to quit alcohol and she hadn't had a drink in a full year. And actually, her solution was to get sponsored for not drinking, and she was using that money to give to a charity. So the motivation for her to not drink was bigger than her own ego, not just not drinking to look cool, not just not drinking to fit in with other people, to say, look what I've done, to give yourself bragging rights, but she was not drinking to give money to a charity. And because of this, she was able to weather the storm and not drink for a full year. So a little side on the topic of motivation, you want something that's bigger than your ego. I'm just going to check these chat settings, so I'm not 100% sure if the chat is going to come on the screen, but I believe it will. So the idea of these live streams is to give you space to talk about your questions and your challenges. What challenges is life throwing at you right now? What are you currently going through? What do you want to overcome? I really enjoy the free stuff that I do in my business, and I enjoy it just as much as the paid stuff. So for me, whether I'm doing a live stream, doing an in-person event, getting paid for coaching a client, it's all the same. It's coaching. It's using personal experience and experience helping out others as well as helping out myself to keep on helping out more people. And a lot of it is about giving people the tools to succeed in life and also the inspiration and inner strength. Because as I said before, we already often know deep down the answers to our problems, but it's having the courage to completely confront our problems and step beyond. It's the emotional blockages and fears that actually get in the way. And this is what we have to constantly work on overcoming. The purpose of having a disciplined routine is to repeatedly win that battle of you versus yourself. Day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. It's to overcome those groggy feelings, the fears, the excuses. When you feel lethargic and you're like, I don't want to exercise today. I really don't want to eat healthy. I really don't want to put the work in. I don't want to meditate. I don't want to tidy my room. I don't want to go to a social. It's pushing yourself past that part of you that wants to hold you back. And when you can beat that inner resistance repeatedly every single day, that's when you have momentum behind you. And if you have enough momentum behind you, you honestly feel like you can achieve anything you want to in life. And I've been learning a lot of interesting things over the past week because I've been taking so much action. I've just been constantly learning and growing myself, even just gaining new knowledge. I was coaching a guy in the morning on Saturday at a social. So we booked onto a coffee social, and I was helping him get more confident, speaking to people in the group and being himself. So this involved me coaching him to be more open. So at the start, he had closed off body language, arm across his body, and he wasn't really making proper eye contact with people in the group, or in fact, fully facing conversations that he wanted to join. So I got him to open up, and I made sure that he faced his fear of speaking to different people at this particular event. And it was a fun event. And quite a lot of the people there were talking about career changes that they've been through. And I learned that there's such a thing as a manifestation coach. I know there's a coach for everything these days. There's career change coaches. There's life coaches that help people with social anxiety and confidence. There's business coaches, and there's even manifestation coaches. And I was speaking to this girl who was the host for the event, and I was asking her about this particular coaching, how it works, and what she gets from it. And basically, she pictures herself already having achieved the goals that she wants to achieve, and spends sometimes an hour a day picturing that so strongly that she believes it as a reality and feels as if it's already happened. And then she goes out there and takes action in her life with that confidence and certainty that it's going to work out. It's quite interesting. And I have the same feeling when I'm taking lots of action and building that momentum. When you have that momentum, you do feel unstoppable. You do feel super, super confident, knowing that you can handle anything and keep on moving forwards. And that's why I'm super keen on getting people to connect to their purpose in life, not my purpose, not your parents' vision for you, but your vision for yourself. I want you to be your own person, figure out what your true purpose is, something you actually want to do in life, something you truly enjoy, something that plays to your natural strengths, something that you're passionate about. And I want you to take action on your purpose, because when you do this, life feels so different. The contrast between being stuck in a 9 to 5 and doing the job to pay the bills and doing something that you actually love, something you're actually passionate about, it's night and day. It really is. For me, when I was doing a PhD in pharmacology, on the surface of it, that's a good position to be in. I mean, I was getting paid, I got a scholarship. So I was getting paid to go into a lab, do some experiments, have some meetings, do some computer coding, and do some writing. But it wasn't my purpose in life. So it would have led to a solid career, respectable, easy to talk about, but it wasn't my passion. Now I'm doing the coaching, so much happier, different person, because I'm being myself. This is something that I want to do. So, me coaching is me being myself and following my purpose in life. And my goal is to get you to do the same thing. I want you to be yourselves and follow your purpose in life. And you might think, how do I find out what my purpose is? For me, I wasn't consciously aware of mine until after my mid-20s. I read several books to inspire me to figure out my purpose. A great one that I read was Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Really, really inspirational book if you've not read it. So this guy, and he was an Austrian psychologist, and he was Jewish, and basically he survived the concentration camps in World War II. And he went through the most horrendous times that you can possibly imagine. The abuse and insult that this guy went through, the tragedies, the loss of loved ones. He really went through so much. But he found meaning in life and purpose and motivation to conquer the most challenging times. And his perspective was, life is already asking you questions right now. It's not waiting for you. It's throwing challenges your way and you're forced to respond. So the purpose that you have in life is already there. And let's say that you are stuck in a job right now that you're not enjoying. You want to do something different. What should you do about this? How can you get more motivated in your current job knowing that it's not right for you? The secret is the question why. Why are you bothering doing the job you're currently doing? And really ask yourself this, like, what is the actual reason? If the reason is just, I'm currently doing this job because I want to get some money in and pay the bills, and during this time I'm transitioning into something that I want to do. Amazing. You have an honest answer now. You know exactly why you're there. Then when you're in the office or factory or wherever you work, you're actually motivated because you're there to pay the bills while you're transitioning to the life that you want to live. So you need that motivation so you don't drag yourself through the day, and you're so much happier and perform so much better when you're motivated in life. And one thing that I'm blessed with is ambition. I've always had a lot of ambition since I was a kid. And that's a trait that's just been there for me personally. And partly my ambition was to escape things that I wasn't enjoying. This is going back to me being a kid. I always felt suffocated and felt trapped. I love my parents, they're great, but they were difficult to be around, negative, critical, and I was a very, very, very closed off person that developed social anxiety. I was avoiding people at all costs. I spent a long time doing that, high school and college, 7 years of social isolation. This was not much fun, but I was always a hard worker. Yeah, I worked hard in high school, hard in college, because I wanted a better life for myself and wanted to escape whatever I was going through. And I thought the path to escape was just to work super hard doing something. I didn't know what my purpose was, but I wanted to change things. So I was ambitious, but kind of vague at the same time. I just wanted to keep on improving my life, but I didn't have direction. And that's okay. I did make progress. My life was getting better. But when I figured out this is my purpose, this is what I want to commit to, I felt so much better. Then there's real direction. You're not a leaf blowing in the wind. You actually have a purpose, and the purpose is bigger than your own ego. So the motivation's there. You're in it for the long haul. You're not doing what you do to make a quick buck. You genuinely enjoy it, and you're good at it as well. Something that plays to your strengths. And some of the ways in which I've helped people almost unknowingly is just having really, really honest conversations and talking about my purpose. And this has helped other people. It's given them permission to connect more to their purpose. It's almost like I'm passing them that energy and they're receiving it and going, oh yeah, I've got a purpose actually. Deep down, when fear's removed, they know what their purpose is. And your purpose is probably a version of, I want to be happy and I want to contribute to society. It'll be some version of that, but in a way that is on your terms and right for you. Not a slave to the system, genuinely providing value in a way that works for you and a way that works for others. My chosen path was to go from completing a PhD to being a full-time coach. Quite a scary transition, quite a career change, but I spent my whole life previously overcoming social anxiety and building confidence. So I didn't go into this blind into coaching. I received a lot of coaching myself, years of coaching, and I did free coaching as well to get my experience. And during that time, I also learned how to be productive without burning out. This is because I was doing a full-time PhD, 40 hours plus a week, and I was doing coaching part-time on top of this. And I was building a full-time coaching business. So I was incredibly busy for quite some years, but all the hard work paid off and it's totally worth it. And one of my ambitions and goals for this year and years after as well is to keep on building the social media. Last year and the year before, I focused on mastering delivering value at live in-person events. Most of the events were in Birmingham and some are in Manchester. And so far I've done at least 27 live in-person events. I've enjoyed every single one. I've given value and I've received value. Doing the events is great because I got to really listen to lots of people who've come from a background of social anxiety, mental health challenges, depression. I've been able to help people out and also learn from other people and what they've overcome. So the events usually have a great energy to them. And a little secret that I've learned, which really helps, is that the strongest bonder when it comes to what helps you bond with other people is actually shared pain. Shared pain is the strongest bonder. If you've been through similar experiences to somebody else and you both openly share that, there's a level of trust and openness that naturally follows where both of those people feel really connected to each other. And this is the culture that I've been creating at my events, calling out my fears, my insecurities, my challenges, having other people do the same. And it creates a really open environment where people feel welcome and encouraged to share things that they might be quite uncomfortable to share, things that they're afraid of saying out loud in front of other people. And this gets them past the fear of being judged by others. And because they feel accepted and supported, and there's that healthy level of validation, people tend to open up and come out of their shell. And this experience, they take away confidence from it, and they take that confidence and start to use it in their life outside of the event. I get positive messages from my events on a regular basis. So a guy will come to my event not knowing what to expect, end up having a great time and feeling inspired, and he'll go away and do something that he's wanted to do for years but put off due to fear. And he'll go and actually do it. Like, for example, there's a guy that came to an event in November, Andrew, really, really nice guy. And he's really into poetry and spoken word, something that he's naturally passionate about. But he's always been too scared to do spoken word and go to events with other people that are also into poetry. But this changed after he went to my event in November last year, and he's been getting into the poetry, and he's getting himself into spoken word, and also going to more socials in general and building a more positive lifestyle. A client of mine who I met at that same event in November, Liam, he's changing his job, which is quite amazing. And as well as changing his job, he's starting to play the guitar more, which is something that he really enjoys. But he used to never find the time and never find the courage to do his hobbies. Now he's actually enjoying life more, and he's braving a career change. So something magic happens when people open up in social groups. They get inspired and they feel differently, and then they act differently. And what's happening on a different level, people are getting proof that it's okay for them to be themselves. They don't need to hide, don't need to be isolated and closed off. It's okay for them to open up and share. It's a sharing culture. Something that we do as children, we share. We're taught to share our toys with other children, and they do the same. It's positive, it's friendly, and it makes people thrive. But something that we often do as adults is we forget to share. We forget to share our personality, our ideas, our humour. And then we become closed off, miserable, and we become robots in life. Walking like the Walking Dead, just people become zombies. The guy that I was coaching today, I had a chat with him, and he was talking about the fact that he hates the idea of being a sheep and having other people push their agenda onto him. He's afraid of family members trying to push him down a certain path rather than letting him make his own mind up. And I think having that authenticity and living your life is super important. And of course, you can know when to take advice from smart people that have experience. But ultimately, your life is your life to live. And you don't want to be bending to the will of other people because that's their life and your life is your life. It's quite easy to get tangled up in that and end up living a life trying to please others rather than truly being yourself. A question which a guy on YouTube once asked in a video. I used to watch videos from this company called RSD that I really enjoyed. And one of the instructors there, He was asking people, how many people in life truly know the real you? Have you ever truly let your guard down, actually been yourself, and formed real connections? Or have you just been fake, carrying this fake persona with you into different situations and bonding with other people who also have this fake persona? Have you been living like a robot rather than actually being human? And so many people have, I've done this in the past, fake personas, trying to please other people, makes you so much weaker. The connections don't actually happen. Other things that are important when it comes to confidence, motivation, succeeding in living your dreams, you have to be brave, relentless, and resilient. It would be unfair of me not to say you have to be brave, resilient, take lots of action, keep on going no matter what, because you need that tough side of you as well as doing the rest of it, the rest of the things. You need to be prepared for the dark side of reality as well as the light side. My mentor loves the phrase, fail your way to success. And that phrase definitely inspired me. You have to be willing to make mistakes in order to succeed in life. If you're holding back so much that you're never making a mistake, you're not going to grow and learn. Every time you fail, it's actually a success because it's life giving you instructions on what you need to change in future. It's feedback. So you're growing just as a direct result of taking action. Something which I remember writing down on a piece of paper earlier on in my business journey was the law of massive action taken. And I realized that if you take massive action, huge amounts of action on your purpose, on your goals, over a sustained period of time, something's got to give. If you're relentless and brave and you keep on going, something's got to give. And most people, they quit too early. They think they've taken massive action. But if they were to be truly honest, they've taken a mediocre amount of action. If you take massive action, something will work. So it's not about luck. Really, you create your own luck. And what comes to mind is a guy that I've coached and a guy that I'm also friends with. And he's landed a massive part as an actor. I won't reveal this guy's name, but he's landed a massive role. Really exciting show that's coming out, and he's got the lead role in this show. And the amount of action taken and auditions and failed attempts for this guy to succeed was extraordinary. He failed his way to success, and on the surface of it, other people would say, this guy just got lucky. He just went to the audition, got the part. What a lucky person. Some people have all the luck, don't they? But what they don't see is the amount of massive action taken that went on in the background. You might see people on YouTube with tens of thousands of subscribers and think, how did they get to that level? They're so lucky. But you've probably not seen the journey that they've been on to get to that stage. They didn't start with that many subscribers. They built it up, probably over quite a number of years. Massive action taken. So you do create your own reality, but you have to focus on it, take massive action, follow your purpose, play to your strengths, be infinitely motivated. And if you've got the courage and discipline to live the right lifestyle, you're going to make massive progress on a personal level. If you're exercising every day, your diet's spot on, you're keeping your house, your room in order, as Jordan Peterson says, you're meditating, you're focused, you're taking action, you're working really, really hard, practicing gratitude, going to socials every single week, you're going to crack social anxiety, especially if you focus on being really honest with people. So you're opening up, you're facing your fears socially, proving to yourself that you can handle any particular outcome. You just keep on going relentlessly. You're going to succeed. But of course, the resilience required, the bravery required, the persistence. You have to win that battle of you versus yourself every single day and keep it up for years. That's realistically what it takes. So because I want to grow my social media this year, I'm more focused on it. And I've got myself into that nice flow state. So at the start, I was just making videos as a hobby. Just making them, putting them out there, not thinking much beyond that. And then I wanted to make sure that I was really, really enjoying what I'm actually doing so I can stick to it for a long time. So I didn't listen to my own inner demons. I didn't listen to the voice of fear. The voice of fear was saying, I've got to be making more social media content and spending longer editing. I've got to be doing that. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to make some videos when I feel like it, focus on my events, and later on down the line, I'll get better at editing my videos. And that's what I've been doing. And then I got myself into a place where I'm not forcing myself to make videos, but I'm choosing to, and I'm enjoying it. This means that I'm going to be able to take lots of action over a sustained period of time, a lot of consistency, and results will come down the line. Might take me years, but the results will come because of the mindset. 100% complete commitment. Something I learned from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So the author, Napoleon, he says that if there's one thing that he's learned in his career, his life, it's that if a man stakes his entire fortune on one turn of the wheel, he's guaranteed to win. If you go all chips in and you fully commit 100%, you put all your might into something, you're going to win. But it's scary to completely commit, and it's so much easier, so much more comfortable to go 1 foot in, 1 foot out, to dip your toes in the water rather than immerse yourself in the water. And even going back to today's coaching session, when the guy was talking about frustrations with his family, I could see that his body language was changing and his guard was up. His arm was across the table when he was talking to me about frustrations that he has with certain family members. So he wasn't fully committed to facing those frustrations at that moment. He was going through that resistance that you have to go through before you're committed. Something that I learned from my mentor, Jonathan, that really helped me out on the topic of facing fears. So there's different positions you can be in regarding your fear. Let's say you're afraid of doing a public talk. If you choose to not do a public talk, then you avoid the fear completely although you're going to suffer in other ways because you know that you're not being brave and tackling that fear. So you are being controlled by that fear, but you're not having to face it. If you dip your toes in and you're like, I want to do a public talk, but I might not do one, you're half in, half out, you're unsure of whether to commit to one or not, that's torture. That decision making, going back and forth, that's super scary. But when you fully commit 100%, you've already made your mind up, you've made the decision. I'm doing the public talk, looking forward to it, it's going to be great. Then you actually do it and you're not that afraid. Full commitment reduces fear. If you're half-assing it when you're facing a fear, that's actually more scary than if you're 100% committed. If you're 100% committed, you don't have the mental RAM to focus on the fear. You're not afraid to feel the fear. You just don't have the time or mental RAM to worry about the fear. It's like you can imagine that if you was in the middle of battle or the middle of hunting, you actually might not be afraid because you're so focused in that moment. You have so much at stake and you're so committed, you don't have time to be afraid. But I bet you'd be terrified before going to battle and before you've committed. So when you've not fully committed, there's fear there. But when you're already in the thick of it, you're in the flow of it, it's not that bad. So what I want to do as a coach is get you to fearlessly commit to living your purpose in life. To 100% commit. And when you do this, the fear's not there so much. But it's when you spend too long resting in the comfort zone, not taking action, not doing the things that you intended to, flaking on your own promises to yourself. It's when you do this that you truly suffer. Another lesson that I learned when I was being coached that is very, very, very relevant and true is that there's two kinds of suffering in life. There's bad suffering and good suffering. And bad suffering is where you take no action on your purpose. You don't face your fears, you don't grow, you settle for a life of mediocrity. That's bad suffering. When you do this, you regress, anxiety gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Your comfort zone shrinks more and more and more. You shrink as a person. You're less confident, you're less social, less happy. Mental health gets worse. Bad suffering is automatic if you don't take action. Good suffering is you facing the fear and pushing yourself to put the work in to get the goodness, the rewards, the fruits to your labor. It's you pushing yourself to go to the gym and actually pushing yourself when you're doing the workout. It's you resisting the unhealthy food and going for the healthy option. It's you facing your fear of going for a promotion because you might get turned down versus not facing that fear. Constantly pushing yourself and growing, a growth mindset, that's good suffering. And for me, this is the only way to live life. I have to live life this way. If I wasn't following my routine, I wasn't going for it, I wouldn't be half the person that I am, wouldn't feel half as good as I feel. So this is my medication. This is my way of living life. To push myself in those moments, past it in a resistance, then I feel pretty damn good a lot of the time. Even Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury's had problems with mental health. He's felt suicidal. A lot of anxiety. His best solution is to eat healthy and train twice a day. Spartan style training twice every single day is his medication. And if someone like Tyson, with the amount of resources that he has, he could spend money on any coach in the world. He could hire Tony Robbins. He could get the advice of any person he wanted to. If he couldn't find a better solution than to get his routine in order, diet and exercise, it's probably because it's the best solution out there. He has to live life that way because he works better as a person when he's living life that way. You could say that you're keeping your own inner chimp happy. So we're animals, humans, and you're keeping that animal part of you happy by living life this way. You're making sure that you feel good in your life because that's really, really important. And feeling good and being focused increases your chances of succeeding. Another topic which came up in the coaching session today with this guy that I'm working with, it was the topic of bullying, being picked on, and how to make yourself less available and less of a target. And if you're super well trained and fit and healthy, you're really, really awake and focused. You're so awake and so focused that people know that they can't take advantage of you because you're on the ball. You're present in the moment. They can sense it. You don't come across like easy prey because you're more focused than them, and they're afraid that you could cause some damage if you really wanted to. So the focus that you get from regular exercise and having a disciplined routine, that's priceless. And it helps you out in all areas of life. It helps you out at work, helps you out in your relationships, romantic, friendships, family. Helps you feel good when you're just by yourself. Helps you cope with challenges better. Helps you achieve what you would define as success in your life. I've got a number of other coaching sessions this month that I'm looking forward to. Some of them are paid sessions and some are my free 2-hour taster session. So there's a lot going on. I'm taking lots of action in my life. And even this week, so tomorrow, I'm giving a presentation to a business group. Then I'm going to spend 12 hours in London to improve my coaching, to improve things further, to notch them up. And then I've got days where I'm messaging big databases of people, recording more videos. I'm meeting with a psychotherapist who's collaborating with me to create joint events and joint programs. So the idea is to have a hybrid coaching plus psychotherapy program. And it's this girl who's a psychotherapist and she's building her own practice. And we're going to combine and coach people so that 1 week a client will come and get coaching from me, building more confidence, learning to truly be confident being themselves, improving the conversation skills, building a positive lifestyle. I can see that someone's joined the live stream, which is great. Would be amazing if you could ask your questions in the chat so that I can answer. Something that's important in life is keeping on going regardless of what feedback you're getting from life. Never losing heart too early. Never quitting too early. People that quit too early, they're relying on luck to make it to where they want to be. You have to be bigger and braver than this. You have to go for it, commit, be in it for the long haul, and usually, or I would say unfailably, something always gives. I learned this from a business perspective as well. So there was times where my inner demons were loud and they were telling me that I wasn't going to make a sale. People wouldn't think my coaching was any good. They wouldn't get value. They wouldn't get results. But I kept on going. I made the sales. People did get value. People did get results. So you have to win the battle of you versus your own inner demons. So I'm building this hybrid program with this psychotherapist, Kiana, and she's also going to be a guest speaker at some of my events in Birmingham. And this is the value of networking. Networking changes your life because it builds confidence, and the connections that you form are invaluable. Firstly, just going to networking events alone is a great way to build social confidence because people are open and friendly. So it encourages you to be more open and come out of your shell. So networking events are great for building confidence, and going to socials like this is good for your mental health anyway. And also, usually when you least expect it, you can form some amazing connections. So when I was out at a networking event quite a bit earlier on this year, that's when I met this Kiana, who I'm going to collaborate with for coaching and events. Also met a guy called Asim, who teaches networking for a living. And I'm also collaborating with this guy. He's going to be a guest speaker at some of my in-person events. Other things that I'm excited about is that I'm going to be on a podcast on Tuesday, the 19th of March at 7 p.m. with a guy called Zishan. And he works for a personal development company based in London called Mind Valley. So this guy has invited me onto his podcast called Tuesday Talks, which is on Instagram. It's at Zishan Official. That's his handle, and I'm going to be on that on the 19th of March. And this is about sharing my story, going into all those details, those things that even I don't want to share, some of the challenges I've been through. It's getting those things on the table and putting them out there, having an open and powerful conversation to inspire people who listen to the podcast. Sharing your story is a great way to transform as a person. When you can own the situations you've been through in the past, that is great therapy. That's going to help you move on in life and achieve what you're looking to achieve. And sharing your story honestly with other people is a great way to do this. So without spending several hours right now, I used to be the most shy and quiet person in my entire year in high school and college as well. I always felt this refrigerator humming, this tension in my chest and stomach. I felt smothered by my parents, felt like I had no space at all. So much so where my mum, she worked in the same primary school as me and then in the same high school as a teaching assistant. My dad, lovely guy, but very, very, very negative, complaining, critical, and he would correct me all the time. Probably every third thing I said, he would say, "No, that's wrong. It should be like this." Constant corrections, nitpicking, and basically I was in shutdown mode. I was closed off from people 24/7. I would go to class in high school, and everyone would be sat together. I'd be sat on my own, away from everybody else, completely detached. My body language was genuinely to walk around like this the whole day, arms folded. On a good day, my arms might go into my pockets if I'm feeling especially confident. On some days, I might not have said more than a couple of words out loud. So I was probably the most quiet person that you can possibly imagine going back to high school. And when I got to the third year of high school, which was year 9, whether it was fear or diet, I have no idea, but my skin, it turned bright yellow. My skin turned bright yellow, and it was yellow for about 2 years. Of course, this meant I got bullied and picked on, which made me feel even worse. I felt depressed, and I was just so angry. To tell you the truth, at that time in my life, I would genuinely cry myself to sleep most nights. That was the place I was in. And then to think things couldn't get much worse, when I went to college, I isolated myself even more. So 5 years of isolation wasn't quite long enough, as it turned out. So I isolated myself even further. And the darkest places I got to were basically self-harming in order to get attention and have people notice me. That was the kind of lowest places I went to. And when I was in college, every single time there was a free period, a break between lessons, I would go out of the grounds and have a walk around this local woodland area just to escape people, be able to breathe, have some me time, have that space. And because I got so sick of being isolated, depressed, miserable, crazy levels of anxiety, so strong actually that I couldn't sit there and focus on a TV show because the tension was just so overwhelming that it would take up my mental RAM, so I couldn't follow programs. So when I went to university, I decided that enough is enough. I'm sick of this. And I committed to making friends, going to socials. A little bit like Will from The In-Betweeners, when he decides to tag along to a group until they accept him. That was basically me. And of course, I was still incredibly quiet, but I was turning up to socials, and I unfailably kept on going. I kept on going to more and more and more, no matter how quiet I was, no matter how afraid I was in the group. I just carried on turning up. And a lot of the times I felt completely frozen, but I was there. I was more present than I was in high school and college, but I was so frozen that I used to always feel like I might trip out and I might faint. But I carried on and was pushing myself. And after 1 year at university, being a fresher, I was now, rather than being a freakishly quiet person, I was just a quiet and shy person. So I'd come on leaps and bounds to get to that stage. And the journey continued for quite a number of years until I got to a stage where I was in the range of normal, but on the quiet side. And that's quite a monumental journey to get to that stage from where I was. It really is. That on its own is an inspirational, monumental journey. But at that time in my life, I hit a different breaking point where I felt stuck. I felt like I hit a plateau. I couldn't find a date. I didn't have that many friends. I had some, and I felt like my life was just on a hamster wheel, not much progress. And when I hit that second breaking point in my life, that's when I reached out to a guy that I followed on YouTube called Jonathan, and I inquired about his mentorship. This was I inquired during the COVID pandemic, because I'd moved back to my parents' house because the lab that I was working in had shut down. I'd moved back there temporarily, and I reached out and we had a chat. And as soon as restrictions were lifted, I was out there receiving mentorship and overcoming social anxiety and mastering this process. And I worked with him for a full year. And in that year, I overcame social anxiety and built a free coaching business. Then I got paid clients through, carried on going, and I was getting better as a coach. I was surprised at how good I was at helping others out because I've got that shared experience, and I've been into personal development since I was in high school. I was reading personal development books. So, I'm someone that's really lived it. And the coaching was helping me out because I was learning more how to coach as well, how to actually get results for other people. I carried on receiving more mentorship and doing more coaching on a paid level. And then fast forward until last year, that was my first year doing the coaching on a full-time basis. Full-time coaching, and really, really enjoyed it. Best year of my life. Very, very, very challenging, scary in many ways, but amazing. And I should point out that by that stage, I'd conquered lots more social fears like public speaking, live improv comedy shows, exercising on a regular basis for years. I really had changed as a person a hell of a lot. So last year was my first year coaching full time, and I put on 27 live events last year plus some of the year before as well. Really, really enjoyed those. Got a lot of value from doing that, and got tons of coaching experience and quite a number of clients as well. And then this year, of course, I'm continuing coaching full time. And now I've got the events part of the business really off the ground. And my goals for this year are to grow my events so that I can help out more people through the events, to grow as a coach so I can help people out more in my sessions, and then to grow on social media so I can reach more people, get my message across, and make sure that people are on the fast track to success in their life, conquering social anxiety, making progress. They're not held back, and a journey that might take them 8 years, 9 years, 10 years by themselves. It might take them 6 months to 2 years with a coach. I view myself like a personal trainer, but for people that are looking to grow in confidence and improve their conversation skills, and also build a positive lifestyle. So you can do these things without coaching for sure. You can do them by yourself. You can go to the gym and bodybuild by yourself. But of course, if you have a personal trainer, you're going to get better results. You're going to get there faster. You're going to make a lot more progress. So I view myself as a personal trainer, and my clients are athletes looking to grow in the social arena and the personal arena as well. So coaching is a conversation that changes people's lives, because in the conversation, it reveals to me how they relate to themselves. I can see their relationship with themselves in the conversation. And I help them improve their relationship with themselves and transfer that onto improving their relationships with significant other people in their lives, whether that's a partner, parents, close friends, work colleagues, new people. And this carries forward in terms of increased confidence in general. The fundamental and pillar is having people be honest, actually be themselves. Scary to do that, but it's the only way. There's no getting around it. You have to just do it. You have to commit 100% to being yourself in order to get the best results. You have to have the discipline to take lots of action consistently and show up even when you don't feel like it. So I help people out, help them open up, change how they relate to themselves, other people. I crush their limiting beliefs so that they're no longer holding themselves back. I'm really honest with people as well, because I want to prepare them for reality. And I know that they need to be resilient and ready, because life throws lots of challenges your way. And if you're not ready to take on the challenges, you're not expecting them, you might get crushed and fall flat on your face. The worst kind of challenge is one that you're not expecting. If it just smacks you in the face, a giant curveball, that's hard. But if you're prepared for a challenge, when it comes your way, you deal with it so much better. So if I was to lie to clients and tell them that now they've done the coaching, they're never going to go through another challenge, that would be unfair. Oh, hey, Taryn. I'm just going to make sure I can see this chat. So, I'm doing awesome, thanks. How about yourself? I enjoyed coaching you early today. And it's interesting as a coach to meet people from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds. And I also learn a lot from other people. I learn from helping others and I learn from them as well, which is great, because the more that I learn, the better I become as a coach and the more value that I can give to other people. So getting people to be really honest with people in their lives and say what they're actually thinking in a kind and classy way, I know that this is going to change people's lives. When I was doing a PhD and I focused on being more honest with every single person at work, actually speaking to them and choosing to be honest, this made such a difference. Oh, cool. And straight away, I like the commitment from my client, Tarun. So he's on the train back and he's joined the live stream from the train. Amazing. And I was saying before that one thing that I'm really, really pleased with is the fact that you're doing an hour of cardio every single day. That's something that a lot of people would struggle to do. They wouldn't have the discipline or level of commitment to keep something like that up. And the fact that you found something that's fun, you go outdoors, hop on your bike and go around the area, that's amazing. And I was saying before that when you're in the habit of regularly exercising, you've got your diet on track, sleeping well, your routine's really, really good. You function so much better. You're so much more awake and alert. Your performance is increased and your results change in life. What would ruin someone's results is if they were to have no routine, no structure in their lives, be completely messy, unorganized, shut down, stop being themselves, stop trusting their gut. that would ruin a person. Something that I learned from a different client called Sonny. So he was telling me that if you're really, really open and confident, you actually become more intelligent because you're learning to trust yourself, your processes, and you're more focused on the task at hand. If you think that you're stupid, you often self-sabotage to prove to yourself that you're stupid. But you're not stupid. You just had that doubt planted in your head and you allowed that to turn into a reality. If you're constantly second guessing yourself, then it's hard to come to a decision and it's hard to take the right action in your life. But learning to trust you and follow your purpose, that's empowering and it brings out the best in you. And really, that's another way of describing what my coaching is about. I want to be able to bring out the best in other people. Allow other people to live a life that plays to their strengths. I want them to have a routine that's going to look after their mental health, make sure they're making progress. I want them to focus on being more honest with people in their lives, improving their conversation skills, connecting to their purpose and following their path. I'm so much happier now than I used to and than I used to be, and I want others to be happy by following their purpose. So you have to be completely committed to achieve life-changing results. So committed that you're willing to look a bit crazy. So even tomorrow, I'm giving a presentation as part of this business networking group, and I'm going to make the slides at 10:30 tonight, and give the presentation tomorrow morning. And prior to giving the presentation, I'm going to make 3 YouTube longs on my Canon. And then tomorrow, I give the presentation with barely any time to prepare, just going to improvise and be honest, speak from the heart. Then I'm going to do my admin. Then I'm going to get a train to London. And I'm basically out of the house for over 12 hours, between 12 and 13 hours, get back about midnight. Then I get back to work on Friday. And that's amazing. So, taking the bike with you to different places, getting the exercise in. And what I like about you doing bike riding as an exercise is that word you've used there. It's enjoyable. You're not on a treadmill, bored out of your brain. You're actually having fun. You're taking in the scenery. It's pleasant, it's relaxing, calm, peaceful. And I bet when you're on the bike, you're in a nice, calm place. You feel present, you feel relaxed. It's a bit like a meditation. I really enjoy going for runs. And when I've ran to Birmingham city centre from my house, from where I am right now, I've really enjoyed actually the scenery, seeing the skyscrapers and big buildings and passing it as I'm going into town. Really, really, really nice. So much more fun than going on a treadmill. And of course, if you do take up running, if there's a quick bit of advice that I would give you, if you're going to take up running to improve your health and fitness, you want to invest in quality trainers and don't push it too far until you get used to running. Start off with a short run with quality running shoes so that you're actually enjoying it, you're feeling buzzed, you're feeling good, and slowly increase your running time until you can do 5K, 10K, and go faster. Because while running is amazing for building confidence and improving health, of all the exercises out there, it's got one of the highest risks of injury. And when I took up outdoor running, I was having a blast for about 3 months. Then I rolled over on my ankle when I wasn't wearing the proper trainers, and that was quite a big setback. At my second attempt to get into outdoor running, I invested in quality running shoes, listened to my body, built it up, and now I'm doing it all the time. I'm not getting injured, and I really, really enjoy it. So if you want to feel more confident in the days, go for a run in the morning. Makes a massive difference. If you go for a run, then have a healthy breakfast. That positive start to the day is going to give you such a boost. And something that I've learned, that I teach to other people as a coach. So motivation follows action taken. So you don't feel motivated before you take action, such as going for a run, but you feel motivated after you've taken the action. So you almost have to force yourself to take initial action to get motivation. And then you can use that motivation to take more positive action, which will give you even more motivation. And when you're taking lots of positive action in your life, exercise, diet, going to socials, pushing your comfort zone, being grateful, keeping your house in order, tidying your room. There's so much motivation that comes from a lifestyle like this, and it turns into a momentum which makes you feel borderline unstoppable. Providing that you can listen to your body and remain in a nice flow state, you won't burn out. 100%. So it is a long day tomorrow, but the price you've got to pay for success, it's totally worth it. You have to be willing to go to these levels. So Tarun's friend, who's also my friend that I've coached, when he got his big part acting, he really had to go to hell and back to get that part. So many auditions, and I think before the successful audition, he basically had an all-nighter, and he spent 10, 11 hours walking around London at night, reading and learning this script for an audition the next day. And he was telling me that he felt like a homeless person walking around at night, but he was willing to go to that place so that he could give it his all at the next audition. This level of commitment changed his life. So 100% committing to success in your life removes the fear. Yeah, I was saying before that if you're 50-50, if you're half in, half out, when it comes to taking on something that you find scary, it's way more scary than being 100% committed. So Tarun's just said, oh, it's about an hour. Yeah, so running from my house to the city centre takes about an hour. And currently my pattern is to run 5k each morning. 5k isn't that much, but it's enough. And it takes between 20 and 30 minutes. And if you can do a 5k run each morning and keep it up for a whole month, you'll feel completely differently about yourself. Yeah, 100%. You have to make sure that you're safe and that you look after yourself when you're doing it, not rushing into it. But you commit as much as it feels right, and you slowly commit more as you're getting better, so that you're not going to get a big injury. And you've said that very, very, very well. Motivation comes from the positive feedback loop of basically starting, taking action, and seeing results. Absolutely. And that's why I want people to do things that result in, that give them results and that they know are going to work. Like going to the gym, eating healthy is obviously going to make you more confident. We already know this deep down. It's a truth. But actually doing it is the challenging thing. And if I can motivate somebody to go, do you know what? I really need to eat healthy. I'm going to actually do it now. And they make that conscious change. And I fast forward 3 months in life. That person is going to look a lot different, talk a lot different, feel a lot different. So it's getting people to do these things that require lots of discipline. And in time, I can make sure people are going further and further and further, maybe running their own events, doing improv comedy, doing public speaking, incrementally building things up. So exposure therapy is basically incrementally facing a fear until you've conquered that fear. A classic example. So imagine you as a psychologist and you've got a client that's afraid of spiders. Firstly, you might show them a picture, a drawing of a spider. They would see the spider, probably be a little bit afraid, but it's just a drawing. They know it's not real. They get used to it and go, okay, there's a picture of a spider there. I can handle it. Then you show them a photo of loads of spiders. Bit more scary. And then there's a spider in a cage, and they see the spider in the cage. And before you know it, they're slowly getting more comfortable and more familiar with that fear through exposure. A little bit like when you go to the gym, you expose yourself to resistance, which is the weight you're lifting. And that exposure builds up strength. And over time, you have a greater tolerance for that weight. You're physically stronger and it's easier to lift it. It's the same when it comes to facing fears. With exposure and time, it becomes easier. Like public talking. So let's say that you're a teacher and you've just started teaching at primary school, high school. Maybe the first 3 months would be hell because you've got to do public speaking in front of the class every single day. But eventually you would get used to it and it wouldn't feel so scary. In the same way, if you have to give presentations at work, the first dozen presentations probably feel quite scary. But when it comes to presentation number 50, presentation number 60, probably not as scary. So exposure therapy 100% works. Something which we already know that exposing yourself to fears and getting better at that over time makes you more confident. It's just actually doing this, which is the hard thing. So ideally, you want to find something which you're afraid of, but you're not completely overwhelmed by. So let's say that you find it scary to go into social groups and you're like, how do I get confident going to social groups and coming out of my shell? You go on the website meetup.com and you look for socials with a small number of people, maybe 4 people, maybe 5. You spend time in that group getting proof that you're safe in that social group. And then when you've got proof that you can handle a small, chilled out social group with 4 people, 5 people there, you then pick out more intense socials. So it's a bit more scary, but now you're ready to handle the extra challenge. It's like you've got used to doing bicep curls with 10 kilograms. You've built your strength up. You can now do 15 reps of 10 kilograms. So you go, right, let's jump up to the 15 kilograms and do some more reps. So you don't start with a crazy weight like leading a group, doing a live improv comedy show. You don't start with something that scary, but you start with something that is challenging, but not overwhelming. Then you're not going to get discouraged because you're not going to collapse under the bar. You're going to be able to handle it, even though it's a bit of a challenge. And I think I saw what Taron said earlier. If there's something that you're genuinely passionate about and there's purpose there, it's going to help you out. It's going to motivate you more. And 100%, you've got to have a reason to overcome the fear. If there's no motivation to tackling that fear, tackling that challenge, it's very, very, very hard to get yourself to do it. So if it means nothing to you, why would you do it? There's got to be a return on your investment. And like you said, Tarun, if something is genuinely your purpose in life and you're really passionate about it, you're going to be willing to go through that uncomfortableness, the inner resistance to actually get the results. So if you had to get good at public speaking to get the career of your dreams, you would have to force yourself to join a public speaking organization like Toastmasters and get experience. There's no way around it. What's the best way to be confident at a public talk? It's having done 30 or more public talks already. It's not about getting yourself into the right place before you do the talk, although there's value in that. It's about the work you've done in the past up until this point. So I've done 27 live in-person events in Birmingham and Manchester. The first 3 or 4 events, I was terrified. I was nervous. I was nervous days before the event. The adrenaline kicked in. I could feel the nerves. But when I got past 12, 13, 14 events, I was a lot calmer and a lot more relaxed at my events. So it came with time. And something you've got to be careful of, a little trap. So if you're looking to grow in confidence, you have to be yourself. If you're doing a public talk and you're putting on a mask, a fake personality, you're not really being yourself, you're only going to gain confidence in that character you're playing rather than you. So you have to get the exposure, not a character. Otherwise, you won't truly get confident. So you might know the actor Hugh Laurie. So he's actually shy and quiet in life. And he says that when he's acting, because it's a character he's playing, he's able to feel confident. But because he's not exposed himself to the judgments of others, he's not exposed himself to what he has to go through to feel confident, it's not changed him. He just got confident in a character. So you don't get confident being yourself if you're not being yourself. As simple as that sounds. To steal a phrase from my mentor, success is simple, but the mind makes it complicated. It's simple. It's you pursuing your purpose, fearlessly, going for it, living a good lifestyle, not making excuses, not taking shortcuts, just doing it. Not sabotaging. The best shortcut is to know that there isn't shortcuts. You have to do it properly, and you have to do it so it actually works. So when you know that there's no shortcuts, then at least you're free from expecting quick results, and you're going to go for it long enough to get real results. So how long does it take a person to transform in confidence? What's the time frame? Depends on how much work the person's putting in, of course. But 6 months to 2 years it's possible for someone to completely transform, leaps and bounds, and go from being a shy and quiet person to someone that stands out as confident in themselves. So 6 months to 2 years. But there's never a limit to how much progress you can make. And if you want to carry on going, you might spend another 2 years and have a 5-year journey where you transform to an even greater level. So I've been live streaming for over an hour and a half now. And basically, I have to manage my time because I have several other tasks to do this evening and tomorrow morning. So very much enjoyed the live stream. And I'm going to start to do this on a more regular basis. Question and answer session live streams. Get people on the streams. Get chatting to people and provide value. Something I'll flag up is that I offer committed people that want to improve their lives a free 2-hour coaching session. If you email me, my email is philmorrison678@gmail.com. I offer the sessions on a first come, first served basis. I'm fully booked up for this month, so people from my events have already taken these slots. And I currently have 5 available slots for one-to-one coaching sessions in March. The session will take place online via a video call. And I'm going to coach you on opening up, becoming more confident, building a positive lifestyle, improving your communication skills. I'm going to help you unwire yourself from the fears that are stopping you from being yourself and living your purpose in life. So the purpose of the coaching session is to leave you feeling inspired and more confident than how you arrived in the coaching session. And if I can do that, then I've done my job as a coach. So I'm happy to allocate 5 free coaching slots for March. Email me to apply for your coaching slot. And also, I do pay-as-you-go Zoom coaching sessions, and I charge £100 an hour. If you're willing to commit to the free taster and a paid session in March, so 2 sessions in March, I'll give you a nice discount on the paid session. So basically, you can do 2 sessions with me in March at a very, very, very good price. And I'll tell you that I'm getting better results than lots and lots of other coaches out there. I don't know many coaches getting better results than me. And I don't know many coaches charging a more reasonable rate than the rate that I charge. So those of you that have looked around and found other coaches, you might realize that this is really the best deal that you're going to get. And being realistic and honest with you. Of course, I want to take on some more clients, but I do have a number of clients already and my schedule is busy. I've got space for maybe 2-3 more clients maximum. And I'm looking to take them on between the end of this month and the end of next month. So if you email me, I'm happy to give you that free 2-hour online coaching session. And if you also express an interest in doing the pay-as-you-go Zoom coaching session, I'll give you a discount on that. And imagine if you do 2 sessions with me in March and you come away motivated, inspired, taking action, building confidence. That will be pretty damn cool. Also, feel free to join my meetup group, Social Anxiety Mastery Birmingham, and attend my live in-person events. And I'm going to be putting on virtual events in future, some by myself and some in collaboration with mental health professionals like psychotherapists. So be sure to join the group, even if you're not based in Birmingham, so you can attend the virtual events where I'm going to create breakout rooms so you get to network and socialize with people at the session, so you can really build your confidence up, work on your social skills, and come away feeling equipped and inspired. So if you got value from this, feel free to drop me an email, philmorrison678@gmail.com. And of course, I appreciate subscribers to my channel so I can reach more people and grow my message. Be sure to check out the podcast that I'm going to be on the 19th of March, the Mind Valley podcast, Tuesday Talks at 7 p.m. on Instagram. At Zishan Official is the guy's handle. I'm going to share my story to inspire you to overcome your challenges and live your best life. Have an awesome rest of your day.